Hello, I'm reading Eevee, and I have finished If I Was a Girl by Meredith Russo. Now, I know I haven't brought this up in an old video. I'm still reading Azen, which is my fiance's second book. And I told him before, so I don't mind telling you guys. It's really not my genre. It's well written, I think. And the story is good. It's just not my thing. And I will finish it. It's just I've been maybe reading a chapter a day. I've been reading a chapter a day, and then I've just been reading this as well. So let's get started with the notes. So first of all, If I Was a Girl is about a transgender woman. Girl, she's I think she's 18 now. Basically, it goes back and forth between the present and the past before she changed, had surgery. And basically, she moves in with her dad after an incident in her not really hometown, but in the town she lived in with her mom. So she moved to her dad's, and even though they've had issues, Amanda's mom and dad split up before she changed. I think when maybe 12 years old they got divorced. I think the dad kind of got violent or something. I don't know if he got violent, but because we were listening in through the kids' view, and she was asleep. Well, not asleep, but in the bedroom pretending to be asleep. But basically, they had a big fight. He couldn't accept Amanda, the main character. Basically, just couldn't accept her at all. Until the present, that is. It takes a little time, though. To the notes. So, I kind of already mentioned, but Amanda's dad really reminds me of toxic masculinity so far, sadly. It was basically he tried making her play catch and all that crap. Basically doing boy things that he perceived to be as boy. Anytime she tried doing girlish things, he would yell at her and all that. I think when she was 5, 7 or so, she wrote a story before her surgery, and it was this little boy writing about to when he grows up he's gonna be this woman. She showed him that as a small child, and he just yelled at her and all that. But yeah. Next one, Parker, side character, sounds transphobic. And I wrote a page number down, 58. That's 88. I forgot I wrote page numbers. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on how good the line is. Well, bad in this case. So they were all at this high school party, and Grant is the love interest for most of the story of present day, and Parker was his friend or whatever. They all knew each other. It was kind of a small town, I guess. But Parker was just oh, what did he say? Bum, bum, bum. Blah, blah, blah. So basically Grant, before Amanda came along, had a friend, Tommy. From what I could see, he was gay, maybe. We never really learned much about Tommy. I think he died though. Yeah, okay. Anyways, and then the thing that I was mentioning was Parker was like, yo, Grant, he said, the new girl knew you've got a vagina. And obviously, like Amanda, nobody knew that she was trans. But just came off wrong, which I ended up being right. I liked how her mom reacted to the preacher's suggestions. Her mom was always on her side. I wrote a page number down. Her mom was always on her side. I mean, she missed the son, that she was raising, but she was completely on Amanda's side. But basically, we all know how preachers are not really accepting, or pastors, I guess, whatever. I don't even know if there's a difference. But they were like, I can never forget the day Mom had come home from seeing our pastor, red in her eyes from weeping. In rage, I asked her what was wrong and heard a stream of curses, so strange in her normally sweet little voice. As she told me he'd had some suggestions, and that's in italic, that I should be sent to a camp to fix me, that I should spend more time with a male role model, that I should maybe take some time away from the congregation until I found a way to fit in. We never went to church after that, although I did continue to pray. So yeah, I liked how that she stood up for her, basically. They talked about closeted homophobes. And while at first I thought it was funny, and I still kind of do, but I do also find it kind of be sad. Another page number. 106. 106. Bottom of the page. So I wasn't planning on reading this part, but that's fine. But they were like talking about homophobes. A side character B, who I'll get to in a minute, was just like, you're straight, right? And this was before she knew that Amanda was trans, but was talking to Amanda. And she was like, how often do you think about women having sex with each other? I thought about it for a moment. Never, I said, shrugging. My point exactly. Homophobes think about gay sex all the time because they want to have it. They insist being gay is a choice because every single day they have to choose not to have the kind of sex they want. Homophobes are super gay. I guess that makes sense, I said, but wouldn't that make the South the gayest place in the Western Hemisphere? Absolutely. Which I thought was funny, until I realized, kind of how true that kind of is. Nobody thinks about gay sex more than homophobes. And I also I don't really find homophobia to be funny, of course, so it was just kind of sad. God damn it. Another page. A line reminded me of why I didn't want kids. This whole book reminded me of why I didn't want them. Mostly because way too many people are transphobic still, and still homophobic. So this was the fight that her parents were having. The mom, or he was trying to say shut up. Basically, she was saying, don't lie to yourself and don't lie to me. And it's pathetic, and so is the way. Shut up, Dad hissed. Do not tell me to shut up, and so is the way you push your issues about your manhood onto my son. You're gonna get him in the hospital because you're afraid of your buddies knowing you raised a fairy. I think that was before that I think that was before they knew that he didn't want to be a boy, or didn't feel right. So I think that was when they thought like he was just gay or something. Excuse me. But basically, yeah, like it reminded me of well, it was one of many reasons. Before I met my fiance, of course, I didn't know like who I would be getting involved with. And people say that they're not homophobic or transphobic until they meet somebody who is gay or transgender, especially if their own kid is one. And then all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but they'd show their true colors. While I don't think my fiance would be one of them, I do truly believe most of my and his family would honestly be that way. And not even in like an obvious way, just like one of those who call it like a lifestyle, even though being straight is never a lifestyle, ironically enough. Basically, I just didn't want to raise anybody in that environment because I would have to choose the kid over everyone. But I mean, that's not like a main reason why I don't want kids, so oh, just one funny thing, because I noticed like I was having like a lot of serious points. I was just like, she's constantly missing the bus. It seemed like every other page she was like, I missed the bus. I was just like, what? But some sort of comedic relief. So at first I was hoping that Grant was trans, because he was definitely hiding something. And with what Parker had said, I just kind of figured that was like, oh, I figured that was either just, there was a transphobic remark either way, but I figured it was, just for a random reason, because he wanted to be a dick, or because Grant was trans. But he wasn't. He was basically just hiding that he's poor, which was like typical high school. Basically like his family life too that he was hiding. And then the last point I wrote was fuck B. So a side character, Amanda's. Oh, I got a severe thunderstorm warning. Anyways, one of them, like Amanda's first friend, when she moved to the town that her dad lived in, basically just outed her, or not basically, she did out her at homecoming, right after she was nominated, or right after she won homecoming queen too. And I was waiting for something to go wrong. Obviously, it's a book. But it was like I didn't expect it to come from B. She was basically like this real chill, girl. Was into art, smoked some weed, was gay, and she got drunk at homecoming and basically just outed like 2 or 3 people and like revealed some secrets. But like somebody had like 2 abortions, she pointed that out. Somebody was a drug dealer, she pointed that out. But yeah, we didn't see her after that, but it caused Amanda to be almost sexually harassed or raped, actually, by Parker. And because Parker was also drunk and just started, after that she ran off, and he found her and started like hitting her and all that. And then Grant was like, does that mean I'm gay? I'm just like, no. Amanda was like, what? No. Grant, like, near the end did try to, like, learn. It kind of left off on, like, a kind of a cliffhanger with those two. Basically, sometime in, like, the middle of the story, she had written him a letter, explaining everything, and he ended up burning it before reading it, and was just like, it's fine, whatever it is, you know, I'll still be around or whatever. But basically, after she came back to school, she was like, I still have that letter, I can reprint it. And he was like, no, I want you to tell me in person. And so it left off with them going to their hangout spot. And it cut off before, like, in the actual story. I think it was just like, let's start off with my dead name or something. May as well just look goes on, like, the last page. That's a note from the author, my bad. Which the author herself is also trans, which I thought, gosh dang it. Which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. She said, okay, I'll start with my birth name, and then basically ended that she had always apologized for just existing, for trying to be who I was, to live the life I had meant to lead. Maybe this would be the last conversation I would ever have with Grant. Maybe not. Either way, I realized I wasn't sorry I existed anymore. I deserved to live. I deserved to find love. I believed now that I deserved to be loved, which I thought was adorable. Basically, because before her change, she had attempted to commit suicide. Obviously, she didn't. And so it was just, she was obviously in a dark place, and so it was nice to see her make it out, even after the outing, or being outed, and being called the F word, and being misgendered. She made it still stronger. This is just rambling at this point. Basically, it was a really good book. I'd recommend it to anybody, if you'd want to just, I wouldn't say really learn, I don't know, it's just a good story though. Next I'm gonna read, alongside Aizen, I'm still reading that, 7 Ways We Lie by Riley Redgate. I don't remember what this is about. I don't know. I'll read the synopsis, and I will post a review on that when I am done, and I will still post a review on Aizen when I'm finished with that, whenever that will be. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Yeah. And comment. That's what I missed.